So let's pull up the Conor fight and see where we're at on that. Dun, dun, dun.
Conor's a big favorite.
Conor is minus 310. Dustin Poirer is plus 250.
See, and if you're looking at going and saying I'm going to bet, then I would put money down honestly on Dustin. Both guys can win the fight, and if you're going to be that guy that's going to say, well, I would rather take $50 and put it on here, and I'm better off. I feel better possibly losing $50 than I do losing $150 or whatever. You're going to make more money back. I always go on, if I have a guy that's a dog, he's the underdog, but he has a good, he has the ability to beat his opponent, then I'll put some money on it. And there's no doubt that Dustin Poirier has the skills where he can be the guy that wins this fight. Now, personally, I do think, as I said before, I think Conor's going to win the fight.
Yeah.
But doesn't mean that Dustin can't and quite possibly will. And so that's the kind of that I would never put the 310, to win $100. I wouldn't do that with Conor, but I would put like $50 with Dustin to try to get it, because what is he? He's plus 250?
Plus 250.
Okay. So if he's plus 250 and I put in, that $50, I could come out with over $150. I'm looking good, baby.
Yeah, you got to look at it too, though. Dustin actually has more ways of winning this fight. He can win it by knockout. He can win it by submission. Not that Conor can't, but the chances of him winning by submission are a little bit less likely than Dustin. He has improved his jiu-jitsu game tenfold since the last time these two have fought. And we just gave this whole segment before about how, they're both different fighters, but Conor is still the stand-up guy. Dustin is a stand-up guy as well, but he is also very good in on his submission. His wrestling has gotten a lot better as well, along with his mindset. So I would have to agree with you, John. If you put $50 to $100 down, I think the return for Dustin would be worth it. The 310, no, thank you.
That's a hard one to go with, but yeah, I can see someone doing it. Let me ask you this: what's the over under on the rounds?
Over under is plus 155 for Dustin, and
okay, but
over two and a half.
To go over 2.5?
To go over 2.5 plus 155 for Dustin, and then under 2.5 minus 190 for Conor. I think it's going to go to the third, maybe the fourth.
So you could even go that.
Yeah.
Possibility, because then you're just hoping for time.
Yeah, it makes you nervous though, because Conor's saying Conor's saying 60 seconds.
Well, there was that name that he used to use called Mystic Mac.
Yeah,
if you remember, he was pretty good at when he would say something, it was Ali like when he'd come up with these things, and he was right on with them. So that doesn't mean that in saying he's going to win this in a minute. I don't see him winning it in a minute. I don't think that's going to happen. I think it'll be a longer fight, but crazier things have happened.
This is very true. Michael Chandler is minus 105. Dan Hooker is minus 125.
So that's beautiful. That means that it's close to an even fight with the bookies. And so, really, who do you think is going to win the fight?
3-round fight, buddy. 3-round
fight. So you're going to put down $105 to win 100 with Michael Chandler. That means you'd get $205 back. That's beautiful. Ooh. It's really a question of who, in this one, this is, a pick'em, and it's that kind of fight. I can see where Dan Hooker can win. He's the favorite at minus 125 with the, gambling. And you look and you go, I can understand why they're saying it, because I think they're kind of looking at what you're saying as far as, well, it's Chandler's first fight in the UFC. There's pressure, all that stuff. I don't think that that's going to get to Michael Chandler. I think he's too mature now as a fighter. If he was in his 20s, possibly. Not where he's at 34 years of age. It's not going to happen. I would take Michael Chandler in that, putting $100, $105 down to win the 100.
I would go with Dan Hooker.
Okay.
The knee up the middle, the pressure.
That was my thing, man. I was watching Dan Hooker's fights and I'm going, that knee up the middle could be a big problem for Michael Chandler.
The knee up the middle, the pressure that Michael Chandler having to perform in a new promotion. That first fight in a new promotion is the roughest. Doesn't matter if you've been there before. It just always has that. I have a big contract. They're paying me to be here. You put the pressure on yourself to perform. And the other thing as well is if you can get through all the cringeworthy comments that Michael Chandler's made throughout all of his interviews this last 2 weeks. Okay. There's a lot of pressure he's put on himself of calling out Khabib, calling out Conor, he's calling out everyone. I mean, it seems like he's a little distracted instead of focusing on the guy who's in front of him. Now, I know that he's mature enough to go ahead and just focus on the one guy. I get it, John. I understand.
Yeah.
But it's like a kid in a candy store. He just can't keep other people's names out of his mouth. He's just keeps feeding himself. Like, I want to have this. I want to have that. Bro, you got a guy who's 6'1" right in front of you that throws a nice knee right up the middle, right up the pipe. If that thing touches your chin, it's over. So I would say I'd probably do the minus 125 on Hooker.
Okay.
And I do like Michael Chandler in a 3-round fight, potentially to win. But I think all these pressure, you look at some of the past fights, Marvin Eastman and Quentin Jackson. I use that one all the time. Sure, Quentin, he won that fight. That was his first fight in the UFC. He didn't look great. He didn't look good. Like every time a fighter comes into a new promotion, they don't look very good their first fight, and sometimes they can dig through it and get the win, but then there's times where they don't and they end up losing. I want to say, who was it that was Shogun and Forrest Griffin? Wasn't Shogun Forrest's first was Shogun, correct, in the UFC?
Shogun's first fight in the UFC was at
Forrest.
UFC 76 with Forrest Griffin.
And Forrest beat him.
Yep.
Yes, and that was one of those fights where it's like new promotion, I felt like that. And then after that, Shogun came back, a couple years later or whatever, and beat him, right? And beat Forrest, correct?
I don't know. Did
the title.
They rematch?
That was for the title.
Yeah, that's right.
Shogun beat him for the title.
No. Rashad beat
Forrest
for the title. Then Lyoto beat Rashad.
Got
then Shogun ended up beating Lyoto the second time.
Got it. Okay. But they did fight again though. Shogun and Forrest fought twice, I believe. I could be wrong. Okay, well, good job, Dave. Way to be on top of it.
You were asking about 15 different questions, and then as soon as I go to this, I knew you were going to come back to the odds.
Don't try to sugarcoat that you weren't on top of it. I understand. Yeah. This is what we like to do. Okay, so Shogun.
Did you want to find out?
Well, yeah, tell me.
Well, which question ended up being the question? Forrest Griffin?
Did he fight him? Did he fight him twice?
Twice, yes.
Yes, he did.
And he won the second one.
Okay, he won the second one. Okay, glad you're keeping up with us, Dave. Man, he's over here. He's picking his dirt out from underneath his nails. Oh, it's so good. I love it. I love to get podcast, Dave. If you guys haven't heard it, he's got a Scottish accent. I love it.
If you guys haven't heard,
if you haven't heard,
the 70,000 subscribers we've had for the last year and a half.
Well, we're at 85 now.
Yeah, so
we're 84 something. We've got
most of them are Scottish.
10,000. Most of them are Scottish. 10,000 in the last week.
That's called the Conor effect. You've heard of the butterfly effect?
Yes.
We just were influenced by the Conor effect.
Very good.
Josh, I thought you read the comments and you would know it's a podcast Dave effect.
Oh man! Don't even start.
Oh goodness, dude. It's been fun.
Trying to take credit now.
All right. Well, hopefully you guys enjoyed our weighing in on the odds segment, and take our advice. Don't take our advice, but it is something I think that you guys may be interested in. Look, whatever we decided, and you guys want to decide something else, we are okay with it. But hit us in the comment section as well and let us know. Also, while you're in that comment section, make sure you guys hit the subscribe button, hit the thumbs up. That also helps our subscribes go up because that spreads our videos out to everyone else that's interested in MMA. So it helps with the logarithm, right, Dave? Yep. To help get people to see our videos. So that puts our videos above Ariel Helwani and DC and other people. Yeah, exactly. So we're trying to establish that we're the #1 MMA podcast out there. A lot of you seem to agree, but I'd like to make sure that we continue that. So hit that subscribe button down below, hit the thumbs up. That shares our videos, and we thank you guys for that.